Hello, what's going on, YouTube fam? This is your boy J Money here, and I'm bringing you guys another controversial topic. And today's topic is regarding the U-boards, the U-locks, the extra links, and all that mess. So, before, you know what? Let's just go through a nice history lesson real quick. We're gonna start off strong. We're gonna start off with this card because when people see this card, all I see is a lot of hate and a lot of other mixed feelings and mixed emotions about it. But let's go ahead and take you down memory lane real quick. Before, in the early stages, even when this was at 3, making U-boards was pretty difficult. There's a few reasons for it. One, we didn't have a lot of link monsters. Because we didn't have a lot of link monsters, there's not a lot of options. So your only hope to U-locking or extra linking was within specific archetypes that had link monsters that supported the extra link, even when Firewall was at 3 copies. Well, where are we at now? Now, because of certain cards and all that good stuff, now most decks are consistent of all blue, essentially all blue except for maybe one card and all that good stuff. Before, you would have the decks let's say Lightsworn based decks playing 2 Cyframe Lord Omegas, a Crystal Wing, a Black Rose, a Stardust Charge Warrior, sometimes a Nat Beast, things like that. You would have all kinds of different Synchros and XCs in the extra deck, even in Master Rule 4, but thanks to a certain group of cards, we are now seeing that basically most decks now are just all blue. And those cards are, you guessed it, the Nightmares. That's what I want to talk about for today. Nightmares have been the centralized topic as of the past week and a half, actually, which is really good. It's really good that people are now realizing that maybe Nightmares are the problem and not the Firewall themselves. Granted, I love the Nightmares because of their vast utility, but they're because of how generic they really are. They make it to where, again, almost every deck is blue. Now you hardly had any decks extra linking before these cards' inception, and now, surprise, surprise, every deck can basically extra link as long as you have a set of these cards in your extra deck. And remember, when this was at 3, extra links were still pretty difficult to accomplish because of the fact that, hey, we didn't have those kind of link monsters to support U-boards consistently. Now you got things like zombies and stuff. Zombies were generally all 70% synchros in their extra deck, and now look, all blue and all that mess, thanks to these cards. But I like their generic or the utility, but the fact that they're some of the most generic cards of the game creates inherent problems and all that stuff. Problem number 1, this archetype in general, if people haven't noticed, they are literally designed to U-lock. That's not even including Griffin. By their arrows by design are designed to U-lock. Not only are they designed to U-lock by the arrows, but they're designed to U-lock in a sense to where you get summons and you get effects, and it rewards you for co-linking and giving you extra cards to continue to U-lock your opponent and all that good stuff. So why are U-locks the main topic of discussion now rather than before? Well, of course, U-locks weren't being made that much, but even when they were at the time, they weren't that big of a deal because we were still able to use our ordinary means of removal and all that good stuff. We were still able to use staples to out this stuff. So even though U-locks back then were annoying, they weren't impossible to deal with. But now, as some of you may have picked up on the fact that cards like Raigeki, Dark Hole, Iron Controls, Forbidden Chalices, these cards used to see tons of main deck play, but now, if some of you have noticed, none of these cards, which were formerly staples, don't see play anymore. And the reason why? Because these exist. Nightmares exist. There's no point of Raigeki because Cerberus exists. There's no point of Mind Control anymore because Goblin exists. And, you know, obviously protection from battle is a big deal. That's the main issue we have here. A lot of people look at enablers of certain products, and that's good. That's good. We should always look at enablers from time to time, because sometimes, depending on how strong the enabler it is, can be ridiculous. But sometimes it's also good to look at the actual product itself, being the U-Lock. Let's say you take this out of the equation. There's still some decks that can still U-Lock, and yeah, you may take this out of the equation, but if this lock still gets made, your opponent still basically wins that duel. And that's the problem. The problem is that this board is so inherently strong when it gets put up that you have to play super obscure cards like Kaijus, evenly matched sphere modes, Cyber Dragons, Mega Fleets, and all that stuff in the main deck and or side deck just to out the board, because if you don't, well, their board isn't going anywhere because they have so much inherent protection behind it. And let's be honest, if these three right here didn't have their protection effects, would we really be having this conversation? Would we be having this conversation if I could out this board with a Dark Hole or a Kaiju Slumber or Mind Control, target the Trigate to bait out the negate and enter battle phase and run over, let's say, a Mermaid and stuff? Would we be having this conversation right now? And the answer is no, because even before these, U-Locks were, yes, they were annoying, but they were breakable. That's the thing. These in tandem, they work so well together. When the board is made, they're borderline unbeatable in that sense. And people blame Firewall for it, but in reality, as long as you have cards like Summon Sorkin, Zold, and Goblin, it's gonna happen anyway, regardless. Doesn't matter what deck it is, and all that good stuff. So, you know, that's where we're at right now. It's like, you can ban Firewall all you want, but if this gets made, it's still GG. Not only that, but Nightmares break other cards. They break everything. Nightmares made Firewall a lot better. Nightmares made Scapegoat just so unbelievably busted. Like Scapegoat was always a broken card the moment Master Rule 4 came, but before, if you resolve the Scapegoat, the most you could do is just go into a Borload. Now, Link Spider, Link Karibo, make Cerberus pop a card, and let's say you fetch a card. You fetch a card because you've got a co-link. Link these two, you make Goblin, you discard, you fetch another card, you go ahead and get a normal summon, because we all know in 2018 normal summons are so strong. You know, do some more shenanigans. Because of the Scapegoat tokens enabling you to play Goblin for free, you access a Phoenix and you draw another card. If it's even worse, you can tag stuff out, make Unicorn, remove another card, and draw another card, and all that. And then you can make your Borload or your Boral Sword or any of that other stuff. You know, not only that, but you just cycled through 4 cards because of Scapegoat and all that. And I'm not blaming Scapegoat, it's just the fact that these made Scapegoat so much more broken because of, again, of just how generic they really are and all that mess. And, you know, you just netted so much positive advantage. You outed 3 cards for absolutely free and all that mess, and you have a Link 4. So it's no wonder people consider Scapegoat an instant win now because of these. Now, it was powerful before these, but it was never just like this seemingly just auto win, because putting 4 tokens on the board for absolutely free to fuel Nightmares is absolutely absurd. But anyway, what am I getting at here? What I am getting at is Nightmares, or maybe Nightmares are the real problem and not Firewall Dragon itself. Don't get me wrong, Firewall Dragon is an enabler, which is still something to look at, but we no longer play Raigeki in the main deck because of Nightmares. We no longer play Mind Control because of Nightmares. We no longer play a lot of things because Nightmares exist. We have to play super obscure cards like Mega Fleet because Nightmares. We have to play things like Kaijus, evenly matched the main deck, all that because Nightmares. Because, once again, if it weren't for this inherent protection of no target, no card effect destruction, no battle, we would not be having this discussion right now. So, with that being said, I want you guys' thoughts on this, because again, when Firewall Dragon was at 3, U-boards are still hard to pull off. These make it incredibly easy. And like I said, with the inclusion of things like Summon Sorceress and Needle Fiber in the future, it's only going to get even more easier. So taking out Firewall will effectively do nothing but kill other decks that aren't trying to extra link and all that mess. And so the solution for me, I believe, is not to just make the U-boards quote-unquote less consistent, because if this gets made, they still win. I believe the solution is to just weaken the U-lock. And what do I mean? Well, if you take Goblin out of the equation per se, and now these U-locks have to make something like a binary sorceress or a proxy dragon, or hell, even a griffin, how huge would that be? That would be incredibly huge, because we can now start playing these again. We can start playing Forbidden Chalice again. We can start playing these cards to start breaking boards again. We can actually play things to make our job much easier. And that's what I'm trying to get at. Don't make the boards less consistent, because they can still be made with relative ease. Make the boards easier to break. If you remove any of these things from the equation, let's say you remove this from the equation, how huge would that be? You can now play cards like Raigeki. You can play Kaiju Slumber. You can play Dark Hole. Like, you can now start playing your staples again. You make the U-board easier to break, and we will all be happy, essentially. Because right now, people are looking at Firewall as if it's a main culprit. I'm like, if this gets made, look, there's no Firewall, and they still just won the duel. So, I want to know you guys' thoughts on this. So, thank you guys very much for watching. This is J Money, and I am signing out.